Layla Davis became a STEM prep school this year and now offer more science and math opportunities to prepare their students for advancement onto the STEM Academy at Bud Carson Middle School.
We're now a STEM prep school, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So we're trying to do this to bring the parents and the children in to see how fun learning can be.
Parents were indeed anxious to join their children and get in on the fun. The event was so popular, the school had to turn some people away. For HCTV, I'm Rachel Berry.
If you'd like information on an upcoming STEM night, visit www.hsdzelladavis.org. Students at St. Joseph's School recently learned about different careers. Lawyers, doctors, and a music artist answered questions from students. Mayor Pro Tem Angie English was one of the many participants and spoke about her experiences working within government.
St. Joseph's School is bringing in career professionals and talking about what they do on an everyday basis and inspiring our students to consider a career that they might be interested in or already have an idea.
All the volunteers made one key point: stay in school. For more information about St. Joseph's School, please call 310-679-1014. Well, cancer is the second most common cause of death in the United States, exceeded only by heart disease. In the U.S., cancer accounts for nearly 1 of every 4 deaths, according to cancer.org. At the Locks of Love Foundation event, you can donate your hair, which will be used to create wigs for cancer patients. City of Hawthorne's Mayor Pro Tem Angie Reyes English and Animal Control Officer Evelyn Diaz will host the event from 10 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, February 25th in the Venus Room at the Hawthorne Memorial Center, located at 3901 West El Segundo Boulevard. It takes about 6 ponytails to create one wig. For more information on the foundation, visit www.locksoflove.org. When we return, local students are learning to fly before they even leave high school.
Now, Krista, make sure you stay with her the whole time. She's new to the country. This is her first day. This is a brand new country. It's a whole different culture.
Gonna be okay.
Now, make sure you stay with her the whole time. I'll be here right after school to pick you up.
Okay, Mom.
Okay, have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ignore my mom. She's so annoying. She's totally freaking out about this whole thing. She freaks out about everything. She always does that. Ugh. Ignore my mom. So, you ready for your first day in the wicked castle of doom? I mean, like, seriously, it's so boring. I don't know how they could put us through this, like, every single day. How many schools do you have in your village? None.
Hi, my name is Sergeant Robbie Williams of the Hawthorne Police Department. Today I will be sharing with you a few safety tips that you can deploy in order to keep your place of business as safe as possible. The first one is to remove all posters and stickers and merchandise from your windows. This allows officers that are passing by your business to look into your business to ensure that all is well. The second tip is to make sure that your updated surveillance video equipment does work and that it is functioning. And the third being that your address can be clearly seen from the front of your business and from the back of your business. And you want to also ensure that you have proper and adequate lighting and locking devices to protect your property. You'll find out by deploying these strategies and these tips, your business will remain crime-free. Thank you.
You're watching Hawthorne Community Television, Channel 22, quality programming for the City of Hawthorne.
After this recent holiday season, now tons of people are sporting new e-readers. The small devices can hold thousands of books, and now Hawthorne Library is showing e-readers how to rent their books through their online system. Margaret Sharp has the story.
I'm here at the Hawthorne Public Library, where now, with the help of one of these little gadgets, you'll be able to rent books without ever setting foot through those doors.
Our ebooks are extremely popular. They're increasing every year.
E-readers are the newest way for book lovers to hold their entire collection on a small device. And libraries are now offering part of their selection for e-readers.
It's really convenient for people that don't normally come into our library, the brick and mortar. places, we can actually download them from home.
Although e-readers may be the wave of the future, not everyone has wanted to embrace them.
My daughter and son-in-law had one, and they brought it over one night while the kids were playing, and I looked at her while she was reading it, and she goes, "Wouldn't you like one of these?" And I said, "No, please don't ever think about buying me one."
But Colette Portella didn't get away that easily.
She bought me one for Christmas anyway.
And now over 7,500 book titles are at her fingertips. All she needs is a library card in good standing and a Wi-Fi connection. Renters can also rent without concern for late fees. And if you think the libraries will become deserted as bookworms download at home, Rose says not to worry.
If you come here in the afternoon anytime during the week or even on the weekends on a Saturday, you'll know how busy we are. Providing print books is just a small part of what we do in libraries now.
Hawthorne Library is still a place for people to use the internet, gather, study, and of course, to read. For HCTV, I'm Margaret Sharp.
For anyone who wants to see detailed instructions on how to use their e-reader to download books, go to the County of Los Angeles Public Library's website listed on your screen. Da Vinci Science is in its second semester of offering students a unique opportunity to take flight. HCTV reporter Rachel Berry brings us the story.
Pilot Dan Mickelson fell in love with aviation at a young age. Now he's giving students at Da Vinci Science the same opportunity.
What I'm trying to mimic with the program is as real-life flight training as I possibly can for the students.
The flight class is an elective course where students split their classroom time between traditional textbook learning about aviation and realistic practice on flight simulators.
A lot of students learn better with hands-on learning, especially when they find a use for it, when they can connect what it is that they're learning to the real world. So if they feel like they can apply something and it's going to be useful in their life, then it's something that they're going to put more effort into.
Students in flight class literally receive hands-on learning experience on these flight simulator machines. And by the end of their course, it's enough to prepare them for their first in-air experience.
So when they go into the actual aircraft, like today we're working on constant rate descents, they'll know the principles, they'll know all the navigational equipment, they'll know all the flight instruments and be able to interpret them.
Throughout the course, students have a handful of opportunities to apply what they've learned on the simulators onto an actual aircraft.
I was actually kind of scared to go up because when flying a plane, you're always worried something going wrong, but it was really smooth and I enjoyed it the whole way. I flew over Palos Verdes and it's just a beautiful sight to fly.
And for those students who are now considering a career in aviation, they're able to take the private pilot written exam at the end of the semester. If they pass, they're 1/3 of their way to having a private pilot license.
So the students who are in that flight seminar and maybe didn't really know what they want to do might now think, oh my gosh, I want to be a pilot, and then start doing well in their other classes so that they can achieve those goals. And so I think it opens students' eyes to lots of possibilities.
And so they're going to have a really big head start if they decide, hey, I think I'd actually like to do this flight thing, or at least try it out.
In response to the high student demand for flight class, Da Vinci has plans to offer an advanced level course next year. For HCTV, I'm Rachel Berry.
If you'd like to learn more about flight class opportunities, visit www.givingkidswings.org. The Interact Club traveled to Pasadena to help fellow Rotarians with their 34th consecutive Rose Parade float. Francisco Castillo has more.
Cutting, gluing, and sharing a few laughs is a typical day when working on a Rose Parade float. But that's not all it takes to create one of these pieces of art.
When the Rose Parade event is over, January 2nd, we're already starting to plan for the next year's event.
First, they must choose a design that goes with the theme of the Rose Parade. This year's theme was Imagine, and they chose the inchworm.
The inchworm is representing the fact that we are closing in on eradication of polio. This is a challenge that Rotary took on in 1985, and today we are 99% there. So it's that final inch, that one little push we have to make.
After the design has been chosen, the building of the float begins. Once the float is built, volunteers such as high school students from the Interact Club come and help decorate the float with flowers such as Everlast.
And they have to be really small so they can be placed on really good and they won't look furry.
I would have never imagined me doing this, but it's actually really fun, even though it's just cutting flowers.
Hawthorne High School Interact member Pablo says that this was a great way to meet members from different Interact clubs and work together.
I feel good that we came out here as a group, as a team, united, to help out and support our Rotary Club.
Although this float seems to be missing flowers, it's actually filled with leaves, beans, and seeds. However, Eugene tells us that when this float is done and ready for the rose parade, it'll actually be filled with over 7,000 roses and carnations. Inching towards the end of polio became the 2012 winner of the Princess Trophy for being the most beautiful float under 35 feet. For HCTV, I'm Francisco Castillo.
For more information on how to donate or volunteer for next year's float, you can visit www.rotaryfloat.org. During these hard times, many of our furry friends get the short end of the stick. Here's a look at ways you can help our animals in need.
This is Tripod.
She was hit by a car, was called out, and she was just sitting there in a little driveway, waiting.
And this is Spencer.
Spencer was dumped in an intersection in Carson, and he was taken to the Carson shelter by animal control.
Both were abandoned by their owners, which can lead to injuries such as tripods.
This one was brought in, actually was taken to the emergency clinic, possibly hit by a car, because her right leg was totally damaged.
It makes me feel really, really bad. I think it's sad that someone would have to go that route instead of taking the right route and saving the life of an animal.
According to the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, approximately 5 to 7 million animals enter animal shelters every year. Hawthorne Animal Control Officer Evelyn Diaz tells us that approximately 250 to 300 animals in Hawthorne were taken to shelters last year. She also mentions that there are more choices out there that are safer for pets instead of leaving them on the streets.
There are options for people who have dogs and they can no longer take care of them. Their options are call animal control. A second option is going ahead and taking them to the shelter. At least they'll be safe.
And for Spencer, Kyle Orleman found a third option. Spencer was a fortunate collie that was adopted from a shelter. Last March, Orleman found a small lump inside Spencer's nose.
It started out with what appeared to be a small pimple inside his nostril, just a little teeny thing like a teenager would get. And within a matter of days, it deepened into a lesion.
The lesion led to the removal of skin from Spencer's nostrils and snout, which gave him a second chance thanks to donations of a Canadian resident who heard about Spencer's story online. Unfortunately, after shooting this segment and 10 months after putting up a fight, Spencer passed away from a second cancerous tumor that progressed rapidly from his neck to his lungs.
If you're willing to fight, they're willing to fight. He's been able to enjoy that time with us. We've been able to enjoy that time with him.
Even though people don't like the idea of putting animals in shelters, according to ASPCA, approximately 10 to 20% of dogs and cats in shelters get adopted.
Just take a look at her. This is one of the statistics. It turned out good for her.
For HCTV, I'm Francisco Castillo.
If you would like more information on how to help animals in need, call the Animal Medical Center at 310-978-4065. For more information about animal safety or if you see an animal in need of help, call Animal Control at 310-349-2948. We'll keep it right here on Channel 22 for these future City News stories. We'll show you how some Hawthorne Elementary School kids are literally seeing the bucket as half full. Then kids take a tour around City Hall to see how the City of Good Neighbors operates. And local grade schoolers compete to have their design represent this year's 5K Healthy Walk Run. Well, that does it for this edition of City News. Thanks for watching. If you have any story ideas, please call us at 310-349-1630. We'll leave you now with footage of the Rotary float from New Year's Day. We'll see you next time.